You're all very welcome to the centre of Tuam, the heart of Tuam Town, the Tuam Town Hall, where once we sported and played for many years ago, the Tuam Theatre Guild, and we'll hopefully have more sport and play with you tonight.
It's the first time I've ever done a gig in the Town Hall. I dressed up for the occasion. St. Anthony's Spine, St. Anthony puts it under my eye. It started when I was small. I was always losing the ball, kicking it over the shed. It would end up in the net, in under the hedge. I'd say a prayer to St. Anthony. He's up in heaven, I hoped you could see. Better than my short-sighted eyes. But promise him a penny and stop telling lies. If you find it, you find it from me. Say a prayer to preparing for confirmation, worried by the bishop's interrogation. The new suit and shiny shoes, wondered what name I should choose. My mother suggested Anthony. She knew the way things were with me, and that's my confirmation name. But I still lose things just the same, and he finds it for me. Say a prayer to stand up, please Anthony, come around. Something's lost, and we found. Stand to be true, stand to be strong, stand to be true. Just a little bit. I won't try to quit. I lost the keys in the car about a year ago. I put on my land jacket the other day. Found my wallet, my phone, my set of keys when I implored St. Anthony. Some say it's superstitious, some say fictitious. The power player, the power, I forget the words. St. Anthony. I couldn't find it anywhere. Anthony seek, St. Anthony's fine, St. Anthony puts it under my
There's two ways of looking at this. Either that's the hardest act to follow, or I'm the luckiest man in the world to have that as a warm-up. Murphy rang and sang here, as did the Nightingale Orchestra of the 30s. Thank you for information. Hypnotists, musicians, pantomimes, plays, puppets, and some Muppet politicians graced the stage. Love stories presented, marriages fermented, stunning presentations, mesmeric creations, directors gnarling with the author's word, Ibsen, Brecht, Molière, Malloy from down the road, King, Free, Sing, local and alien voices, helping us understand all the heart's wonder of love and death and land. Simple and complex recitals, bewildering productions, designs that mystified, strange names, convoluted titles, causing the curious imagination of the foolish and the wise to run wild. The Crucible, King of Friday's Men, died a crucial week in the shadow of the glen, where the fooling whistles in the dark, creating Big Maggies and Cass Maguire's shop runs and Christy Mahon's, and even, as mighty reference, Commedia dell'arte. These walls hold history, the Eke mystery, picked black and tan destruction like fire and brimstone raised from hell. Revenge is a burnt out shell. Mindful commissioners, reconstruction, roofers and loafers in the clock tower, falling back or springing forward, annually changing the hour. Now computerized and modernized, while overhead the flying banners flutter and flail, as the fox with his long tail swings easily, fair weather or foul. Nowadays, few check to see the time the four faces show, or even which way the wind blows. But now, the set is struck, the rigging is no more, the stage is bare, the stage is nowhere. A lost creative space, a lost theatrical place, where music and drama astounded. The language of this town resounded in the lilting and the singing and the word gilding. Now we are simply left to declare in a final curtain call, ladies and gentlemen, the thespian has left the town hall.
I'm going to start with a song by a Scottish singer-songwriter called Corinne Polwart. And I heard this song probably about 20 years ago. And it's about an event that happened during the Bosnian War. So I think it's kind of very apt for this evening, so hope you enjoy it.
Between the air and the windless sea, you float like a lily flower, and you look just like you fell to earth to sleep, and you're waiting for your waking hour. And I swear to God I saw an angel hand attend you, but that was just the dancing of the light. No mortal or immortal did deliver or defend you. All hands have forsaken you tonight. You dreaming of a lover who would carry you away and keep you from the crying of the crowd. No cradle in the rushes, you were broken like the day, darkness all around you like a shroud. And I swear to God I saw an angel hand attend you, but that was just the dancing of the night. face you? And did you curse the moon and stars above? Those cruel arms abandoned you for water to embrace you. Won't you lay your head, my water lily love? And I swear to God I saw an angel hand to tend you, but that was just the dancing of the light. No mortal or immortal did deliver or defend you. All hands have forsaken you tonight. Caught between the air and the windless deep, you float like a lily flower, and you look just like you fell to earth to sleep, and you're waiting for your waking up, and you're waiting for your waking up.
I'm going to give a world premiere to a new poem. Bob Dylan has a fantastic album called Blood in the Tracks, and on that album, if you listen closely, you can hear his shirt button on the guitar strings. Bob, I finally wrote it. The sound of your shirt sleeve button on the guitar strings is the place where it started for me. Or the ripshot, slingshot snare sound at the start of Highway 61 Revisited. Nolan and Ado will know what I mean here. I'm talking about the "you've got my attention" sound I heard, and I heard again today when I was supposed to be listening for something else. A phone call maybe, or the bird song signalling a return from somewhere. I was and am distracted infinitely by the opening bars of certain songs, by the first line in a short story, by the first line in a long story, by every single track on the first Strokes album. Bob Dylan, I wrote you something. I got around to it. Finally. Why did it take me so long? The sound of my shirt sleeve button on the desk clangs around the room. Once again, I am taken with the urge to listen to every song in its entirety, but those tunes are going to have to wait. There's a poem being written here, another notion I am determined to see through, because it took me a few hours to sit down and get going today. Yet, here I am again, too quick sometimes to reach for the glorious brevity of a Ramones tune, weary of a 10-page poem, but still enamoured with every single minute of Sad-Eyed Lady of the Lowlands. Or reading a novel for the fourth time because, well, it's brilliant and these are my hours ultimately, aren't they? The sound of shirt buttons sets me off. Tomorrow it could be the boom of a car door closing, or Billie Holiday coughing at the start of an album no needle could ever wear down.
Oh.
This is a poem about going to see Tommy Tiernan in the King's Head years ago when he was doing a show that was purely improvisation. He had an iPad with a big clock on it, and he pressed the button, and when that clock started counting down, he was off. So this is the comedian. Take every time I've laughed at him, I would lose count. Less so these days because he loves psychoanalysis, but that's the show. I saw him improvise once in Galway for 45 minutes. He talked about debt. How did he get to the point where he owed millions to madmen who threw cash out like it was meaningless and asked my friend, why borrow 5 million when we'll gladly give you 10? A similar sum was set before the comedian. He did not make light of it, but what he said in the king's head made something more from the black and the red, from the debit and credit that went up in noses, the era of poses, of Bertie and dig-outs and pricks who backed horses whose legs, being mortal, could not withstand such a vampiric burden. But we've moved on since. We're convinced by our noble demeanour in a world we respect, that we love and neglect, that we leave to the hapless and tell them, you're next.
And apart from that, I just wanted to say a little bit about maybe the reason that we're all here. And I think that Irish people have a special affinity with the people of Palestine because of our connection to the land and how we lost it. And my grandfather, who appears in the book, who was Willie Joe Kelly from Toher, he was evicted. One of the last of the evictions, he was only 3. So I feel a very kind of a close connection to that idea of your home being taken off you. Brown. My childhood involved no frills or flourishes. It was sturdy and down to earth, like the colour brown. When the low beam of memory shines on those years, my granddad is the prism that the light hits, that splits it into a rainbow of brown, from treacle to woodchip. Even the name of his birthplace sounds brown, Toher, safe passage through the wetlands. The waters in Toher run brown from peat deposits, and his roots there went deep, back to his father's father. They were brown as the words famine, tuberculosis, eviction. The landscape of wood and earth drew pop to it, like the colour of leaf litter embracing the mottled breast of a thrush. So many honest shades, the thick workman's weave of his trousers, the twill of his peaked cap, the oak of his 3-legged milking stool. A farmer and a gardener, wherever he went, the earth he came from went with him, under his fingernails and in the threads of his hobnail boots. He carried the weather too, beaten onto his face and into the back of his hands. Brown as the words plough, rotivate, sow. Even the smells were brown, smoke brown, turf fires in the small middle room, the mahogany of his pipe inadvertently polished in his pan by years of handling, and the tobacco either chewed or spat or pulled and blown into a musky wisp. The shuffle of the cows in the dusky shed and the unceremonious plop of steaming dough into dry straw, and all of my sun-filled summers summarised in dead grass and molasses, fermented into the sweet perfume of silage. The seasons carted along in a series of browns. Autumn was crayoned copper and browns. It was harvest brown. It was the damp soil that clung to the sugar beet piled at the sides of the road, to the nuggets of potatoes the fields gave up into our muddy hands, to the wild mushrooms sprung overnight and welcome come morning as the outstretched arms of a just-woken toddler. It was bronze bales of hay piled up onto trailers to be stored in sheds with rusty galvanised roofs. Winter was a brown mulch of autumn's leftovers, the sopping soil perfect for mud cakes and wellies squelching. It was the skins of sheep turned inside out and tanned to make my parents' thick his and her coats to be added over blankets at night for winter burrows. Myself and my brother Larry beneath them as snug as fox cubs. It was the naked branches of the beech, the horse chestnut, the ash woven into child-sized forts. Spring was the folding of the fields into furrows ready for planting, the plough rousing the landscape into a fresh brown patchwork of hazel, tawny and raw umber. It was me busy with the business of being a tomboy, trying to disguise my chestnut ringlets under a cap and tramping the fields in my brown corduroy dungarees, or offering my fingers to the soft muzzle of a calf so it might learn to suck milk from a dung-flecked bucket. Summer was a meal file of brown because of the bog. Hours seemed to pass differently there. They got the slow polish of bog oak that you could almost reach out and stroke. In the bog, the sun and the wind worked in shifts to hug and kiss your skin until they had blended you into a sienna, tub and walnut of their peat carpet. It was turf brown, like the hot tea in a flask a neighbour might bring you. Can a sound be brown? The song of the skylight was, from a shrill hickory chirrup ascending right up until the tone was almost magnolia and out of earshot. The butt of my dad's shotgun was brown, and everything he tried to shoot with it wore the mute brown camouflage of not wanting to be caught. The kind of quiet I had to be, those times I trailed at his heels, was a brown shush like the wings of a moth. No frills or flourishes. Rabbits hang from the rafters in the shed. A cock pheasant sniggers from the fairy fort behind the house my father built. And here's Pop, wheeling his high Nelly back the Tobermore Avenue, the beech trees mighty all around him, a buttered milk churn balanced on each handlebar, and there, somehow, am I, skipping along behind him.
Was it cool, cool breeze? Got the circle of stones. And I lacked for wisdom. There's the answer of the bones. And it was a fine, fine day. You should Huge numbers of children in Gaza trapped beneath rubble, buried in unmarked graves, detained by Israel. Nearly 21,000 children are missing in Gaza, according to the British aid group Save the Children. In a report, the group said that thousands of missing Palestinian children are believed to be trapped beneath rubble, buried in unmarked graves, harmed beyond recognition by explosives, detained, or lost in the chaos of conflict. And it says that Israel has killed more than 14,000 children in Gaza since October 7th, while others are suffering from severe malnutrition. And this, you need to take this line away with you. Suffering severe malnutrition and do not even have the energy to cry. Now the whole wide world is watching murderous war on television, and the only sounds they are hearing are the sounds of mothers grieving in war, war, war. We don't want your 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 war. And there will be no answers in anything the politicians say, with their tear-jerking slogans to justify the decay of war, war, war. We don't want your 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 war. And there will be no silent nights when you drop your death bombs. There will be no sounds of laughter, just bodies broken in the gutter of war, war, war. We don't want your 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 war. And there will be no more sweet dreams for mothers and orphan children left to bury their loved ones amongst the endless tombstones of war. All together now. War, war. We don't want your war, war, war. We don't want your war, war, war. We don't want your war, war, war. We don't want your war. We don't want your war, war, war. We don't want your war, war, war. We don't want your war, war, war. We don't want your war, war. We don't want your war, war, war. We don't want your war, war, war. We don't want your war, war, war. We don't want your war. Or we don't want your
There will be another event coming up before the Christmas, so keep your eyes peeled on social media. And thanks once again for coming out. I hope you enjoyed it.
Good night.
And the Tuam Herald.
Keep your eyes on the Tuam Herald.
Oh, keep your eyes on the Tuam Herald. You're local.